The main difference for San Lucia and its citizenship by investment program, I would say it's the diversity of investment options. In most Caribbean countries, you have a donation and a real estate investment. As we have discussed, the real estate investment is not really appealing, so most people decide to go with the donation. But then in San Lucia, you also have other options like government bonds and approved enterprise projects that might be interesting, although right now there are not really any interesting enterprise projects. This is a route that is available for you. It's contemplated in the regulation. And then the government bonds, it's a very unique route. It's the only one in the world. So that is really unique, and it can be attractive for some people who feel more comfortable with this type of investments, although you have to hold the government bonds for a certain number of years, and without donation, simply you just pay the money and forget about it. But it's something that might be interesting for some people. In terms of visa-free access, I would say it's very similar to Grenada, in the same sense that it doesn't have the biggest number of visa-free destinations in the Caribbean, but it doesn't have a bad reputation like, for example, we could say Dominica, about Dominica that recently lost their visa-free access to the UK and Ireland. So comparing it to Grenada, for example, I would say it's not so attractive in terms of mobility, simply because it doesn't have visa-free access to China. That is something that you get with Grenada. But I would say it's a pretty solid passport. It also gives you visa-free access to the Schengen area and Europe in general. So it's a solid option. However, I think what has made the program not so attractive lately is the slow processing time. Basically, San Lucia has the slowest processing time in all the Caribbean region. It promises 3 to 4 months, like all the countries, but the reality is that there are cases of people who have been waiting up to 20 months. I personally know the Citizenship by Investment Unit and the government are doing their best. They're hiring people, they're improving processes to shorten these processing times. And I'm confident that in the short, medium term, they will be able to fix it. But the reality is that for people who invested in the last couple of years, it has not been such a smooth experience. In terms of cost, it is quite similar to all the Caribbean region after all the countries set the minimum investment threshold at $200,000. San Lucia decided to push it up a bit. The donation is $240,000, but it's very similar to most of the countries when you consider also the government fees and everything considered. So I would say that cost right now, especially if you are considering San Lucia, is not a deciding factor. What would be a deciding factor is, for example, something like you wanting to invest in government bonds and feeling very strongly about that, or having visa-free access to a destination that only San Lucia does.